Welcome back to the Call of the North, presented by Bell with Vansili and Launders. Getting ready to cover the second map between Ace Gaming and Selfless. First one, 16-14 for Ace. Tough match for them. And now we're playing on Selfless's map choice, Launders.
Yeah, we were playing on Selfless's map choice, which is what makes it so surprising, right? The fact that Selfless were able to get 14 rounds on the last map. And I definitely saw some spotty performances in rounds in their last matchup versus Earthroot.
Yeah.
And that's a much more low-tier team that Selfless were playing. So I have to assume that this is going to be even more in the favor of Ace, but I don't want to eat my words considering how many mistakes they did in the making and how well how well Selfless Gaming played when
I think I had to cut you because I think I couldn't hear you anymore.
But looks like we're live here in this matchup. So it's going to be Ace Gaming starting off here on the CT side. It is composed of Tiz, Vez, PL1, Effie, and Sub Rosa. While for Selfless, we have Ray, Emily, Linsky, ML, and Goose Breeder. For still waiting for Rain, as we have the T's pushing out inside this B bomb site. PL1 playing on the top of that default site. And it is going to be a 3 versus 3 as Linsky gets the headshot onto Sub Rosa. Goose Breeder trying to move in, but Tiz gets the crossfire set up to drop them both as ML trying to run through the smoke gets picked off, and it's going to be Ace Gaming getting that pistol.
Oof. And yeah, so Selfless on their T side actually to manage to get the 11-4 half versus Earthroot. And I'll try not to draw too many parallels between these two teams because they are going to be very different levels of competition. But it's clearly, I guess it's fair to say that Selfless are very comfortable playing T-side. And you have to be on your map pick comfortable playing T-side, right?
Yeah.
No matter what it is.
Yeah.
Everybody can play CT side well by accident, pretty much. And so T-side is where your coordination, your communication really gets put to the test, excuse me.
Sub Rosa a little bit confident there, trying to go for some pre-fire through the smoke by jumping through and spamming the MP9. But looks like we're going to try to go for a Shutter Flash to move in, but Sub Rosa is playing so passively inside that site. Counter Flash is coming through, but they can't get any of the frags around, but they wrap around towards the A bomb site, drop down Effie and Sub Rosa, and they'll be able to get a bomb plant. 4 versus 3, a little bit damaged, but at least some weapon salvage at the same time. That's an M4 and an MP9.
Wow, that wrap worked a little bit too well, and the retake is not in their favor at all. Being down a man, another one as Ray Bay hits that Tech-9 shot from a distance.
Okay, PL1 moving in, trying to go for the 180, gets the headshot, and now it's a 2 versus 1. Goose Breeder all by herself. They know she's there because she went for the boost before. It's a 1 versus 1 now. She draws PL1, trying to connect with the shot, but Tiz manages to come up on top, wins that fight with a P250, and comes in for the full defuse. It is going to be 2-0. But man, that's so much money lost now for Ace.
I mean, if I were them, I'd just be happy to win the round after that just happened. You know, like it's 4v2, right? And then you have the 180 MP9 spray transfer
long
headshot,
range,
from downtown. Can you believe it? That's quite the shot to hit. I mean, to get the headshot in that bullet was very important, and he did do it and bailed his teammates out of a tough spot. Ace Gaming more than certainly should have lost there.
Yeah. Thanks to that bomb plant, though, Selfless Gaming will be able to buy. So you do see a case. And Galil's across the board. Aggressive push outside B, and it's Sub Rosa cannot connect the sprint. But they have a 3-man setup for trades, and they drop every single one of them.
Wow.
Read them like a book.
Read them like a book. Oh.
Ooh, Vez a little bit angry after that one.
Bullying, Vez, bullying.
That's because of his performance back on Nuke.
Yeah, called out. Yeah, maybe he didn't do as well as he had hoped. Maybe he was losing a few too many trades. And yeah, but that setup just works so well. I mean, there's so many words that I want to use that I can't say because of professional broadcasters.
Yeah.
But they got pooed on. There's no other way to put it.
Dismantled. Eradicated.
Shut down. Wow, maybe if you have a good vocabulary, you're a master of rhetoric, you're going to be able to come up with some synonyms for words that maybe only plebs use, but...
Full pistol save, or at least P250 buy for Selfless. No armor as well, but a nice trade set up at least. They take down Effie, and then Sub Rosa drops that kill with the MP9. And, you know, every time you're getting these submachine gun kills, that's $600 in the bank. And that's going to be Emily trying to pick one up, but they get a boost inside the fence, and Vez gets 2 kills with the AK-47 that they salvaged from that previous round. Zelinsky's going to be by herself, no armor, P250. Trying to win that fight against Vez. Vez will have no idea. She'll have the angle. Gets the headshot.
Tilt.
Catch one off guard. Spray missed. Runs out of bullets.
Damn.
PL1 ends it.
That's one where you just need like miles of mouse pad beneath you, just like pull down. when you're getting shot and you don't have armor, your crosshair just goes straight up.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
But yeah, Ace cleaned that up, no problem there. No bomb plant, denied that possibility as well. It doesn't really do anything to them, to Selfless, in terms of what they're going to be able to buy now, right? That's just future-proofing to get that bomb down, have a little bit of money left over in case they do lose again.
Yeah.
Instead, though, they're going to have a very healthy buy and a good chance to just at least get some picks, because I think they lost 5-4-2 on
They're
that
doing
B
it again.
push. And oh yeah, it's going to come out. The trade happens, and potentially neither of those players could have died if Tiz was peeking a little bit wider there. So
that's a 1-for-1.
instant trade was good, but maybe could have been better.
PL1 inside, they say bomb side, big flash, blinds over Rebe. Rebe moves out to get the kill, and also save her teammate from dying inside Squeaky. That was Goosebreeder at 7 HP. PL1 now spotted, indeed. He's trying to push up towards the forklift. He loses it against ML.
Wow.
4 versus 2.
Oh my gosh.
Heavily damaged, though, is ML, Goosebreeder, and Rebe.
This is so winnable. They're actually also low. They don't even have as much health as him with all their 4 players combined.
But he has such great positioning for Selfless right now, so Tiz is going to try to save. But what's good here, Launders, I was going to mention at the beginning of the round, was there was a light at the end of the tunnel for Selfless Gaming, because despite Ace winning 4 rounds in a row, when they bought at the end of that round, they bought down to nearly nothing.
Oh, this exit, actually, it's not over quite yet. Oh no, he's not doing any damage. He just needed to hit 1 bullet there. And he's gonna get killed. So
There's
many
one.
people that are hurt, and he only has 1. Oh my gosh.
Wah, wah, wah.
Oh no,
Anticlimactic.
very.
So yes, now look at it. I mean, you have 2 guys at 2K, 1 at 1,500, 53 for 2 of them, and now they just get these kills, right? So, I mean, they're forced to save now. Or maybe try to go for that forced buy with pistols if they wanted to, but I mean, the economy is still very tight for Ace at this point, and a chance for Selfless to tally up some rounds, maybe bring it to a 4-2 at least in this one, and possibly even a 4-3, resetting the money again.
The full-on deco here. No pushes to be had yet. PL1 very stringent on this angle. It's only cutting off this cross. And wow, Linsky, assuming it's
Okay.
clear because Emily had already gotten across, just tries to make it over to her teammate and gets shot in the face. No.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Line of sight given up. But so was mid. Now a B split looks imminent.
And that's 4 Deagles, right? 4 Deagles in P250. They do have a 2-man play inside this B bomb side. Now it's an angled play. Will they have landed? Vez falls down, and nothing more than that after the initial 1D. But Tiz moving down from the checkers, up down by Emily. And now they also plan for mains. With Emily already being in checkers, they have great positioning there. So at this point, Effie and Sub Rosa will just try to go for exits.
You have tons of trouble with that name.
I was going to say some Sub-Zero stuff there.
Sub-Rosa.
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 Sub-Rosa?
No.
No, Sub-Rosa?
Yeah, it's an upside down B.
One day. So, Sub-Rosa. At the top of that. Well, it looks like they're just going to try to keep the economy of what they've spent for the Deagles and the P250 there. Effie just trying to collect a gun here left behind from Linsky at B main if he can.
Will he be able to? It just got blown away, and there's
Yeah.
there's so many people watching this.
Okay.
Gooseberry's like, I got 3 people in Sunroof, and nobody is watching my flank. That's funny.
That would have been, yeah, that would have been some, a little bit of yelling inside that TeamSpeak if Gooseberry actually died. But 4-2 at the end of the score line, so like I said, could be a 4-3 because they reset, right? So they're at a double save now for Ace. And even then, if they go for a full buy right after, we'll have to see what the economy will be.
4-3 when they'd rather have 16-9.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah. Well, Effie Elise gets the first one on the board for the team, but immediately stopped there from Squeaky. Tiz still at Highway. Manages to even up the people alive for both sides. It's a 3 versus 3. Hashtag 1 HP for Tiz. And with this bomb plant, you're still playing angles and exits. They have no kit to work with, so at this point they have to work quickly. Oh, he spotted.
Oh, ooh. Oh, whoa, good kill. Vaz stays alive, or is that Tiz on Highway?
Yeah, that's
One
Vez
HP.
running towards Squeaky.
And they've got the splitter. They're going to actually try to encroach here. It looks like ML's going to have some pressure put on her. And, oh, does show up, though, with a couple of frags of her own. and they just got her out of a tight spot. That was rough to have to deal with.
Yeah.
The split in that situation. And the thing was, Ace are super weak at A. It seems like a couple of rounds, they almost gave up that anti-eco. Right, PL came out, got that 180 MP9 spray transfer that he shouldn't have gotten, and they would have lost if without it.
Yep.
And then they had another rifle round where both their players went down on the site with only one trade or a little bit of damage done. So it's definitely, I think, in Selfless's best interest to focus on A, whether or not they work the map differently in the early stages of the round. Ultimately, the players who are over there are not doing their part.
And this is what I'm talking about now.
Ooh.
Nice shot there by Sabrosa.
Wow.
Spamming through the squeaky and taking down Goose Breeder. And I was going to say, because with this buy, if they lose this one here, that's max. Well, not max. They're only going to get $2,900. They'll be forced to save again. So getting that first kill is a good advantage right now for Ace. They also damaged Emily down to 20 and ML down to 51. So this is a really winnable round so far on paper for Ace, unless they run through a few mistakes that we've seen on that last map on Nuke. Emily now down to 15 as they are still running down that clock by forcing those mollies on the top of that boost and preventing the girls from actually taking control of mid. Interesting enough that they're boosting ML instead of Emily with the op. So they're going for an AK pick.
Guys with the first and second frag. Wow, doing more than he needed to do there at mid.
And that's the only place you needed to focus because they had the wall of smokes there set up from Team Mid. Whew. Okay. So Emily's going to be the last one standing, 4 versus 1, and she runs out with a molly in her hands, and she still stays alive.
I don't know. She throws it and stays alive. I have no idea how that happened. Ultimately will result in the exact same outcome, but almost certainly, wow. but surviving by the skin of her teeth. And now Ace Gaming pick up a 5th round and are starting to claw their way back into this. I wonder what it was that prompted Selfless to do the wall at mid and potentially go B when they've had so much success at A. Did they expect that Ace were going to stack it? I wonder. You know, you can't just go to where is weak with the assumption that the other team's not going to make an adjustment. But at the same time, you do also want to do what works. And so I think ultimately what they wanted to do was make it seem like at least they were going to be to pull a stack if there was going to be one and then hit A. But that would have made the most sense. And wow, Tiz, he must have just shot his teammate.
Yeah, or Emily got
Effie's
the leg shot too, right?
Yeah.
Onto Effie.
Potentially. Yeah, I'm not sure. One of those, yeah.
Because I think she could have had a collateral. You see Tiz and Effie both at 16-16, so I wonder if it's a collateral from leg to leg. Nonetheless, though, she falls down.
One bullet hit 2 people, and that's all we need to know.
Yeah. There's that wall of smoke. So now we're going to see this. I mean, you're looking at that minimap, the way that they're setting up. They're creeping up slowly towards that A main, but losing Emily and losing control of that mid makes it a little bit harder for them to try to go for that switch towards A. And now that's the information, though. They still have 2 guys inside the A bomb site, though. They spot also one at the fence and a counter molly from the CT side. Blinded spray, but it's going to be Tiz that takes the upper hand.
Wow, just a quality flash. Had her blind for the rest of her life there. And she went down to the fence player who only had 10 HP, and that's it. They sealed it up. They have locked down the site, fortified their defenses, and came away with favorable trades. Sabrosa putting 2 frags on the board. Again, one of the star players of this team.
Yeah. I mean, I still find it unfortunate for Selfless 2 rounds ago when they did that wall of smoke. They really only had to focus on looking close when they move out towards that T mid to mid. They look left towards that Vence, or they look right towards the playground, and they spotted Vez. But somehow he still manages to get 2 kills. So the strat was perfect for Selfless Gaming, but it's Vez that definitely stepped up from his previous performance on Nuke. Is definitely getting a little bit more here in this map. So 0 seconds remaining in this round. It's going to be another round coming in for Ace. It's going to be now 5-3. And Vez is currently at 8-7. So him and Tiz are pretty much holding it out towards this mid/A hold. But the way that things have been working as well for this counter-terrorist team was that 3-man push that they had at the beginning, Launders. That's twice that they've done it so far, right? 3 guys moving up there and trying to set up for trades, and they were able to do so. Now it's what's going to happen for Selfless. I mean, we do have a slight technical pause for Selfless, as it seems one of them, I guess the mic wasn't working or something. But they salvage that AWP left behind by Linsky. Linsky at this point will drop that AWP for Emily, but she has Linsky has $100 remaining, of course, because she had to save from that previous round, so you don't get any bonus or any loss money from that, from saving your gun with the timer running out. So she has no money to work with. She only has full armor, right?
Yeah.
She can't buy anything else. She can't even buy utilities.
She's definitely worth dropping a pistol to at this point. I mean,
That's true.
They so at the very least here, because like your armor Glock is like the worst combination of things you can have that are worth
At this point, yeah.
$1,000, right? There's gonna be no good reason for her to do that, and I think they also might want to consider just fully buying behind the op in the first place, right? Investing a lot more money into it, armoring up on everybody potentially, and just trying to convert the round, because the op can make the difference, right? Just 2 kills. They've done it on the eco before. They've gotten to the A site with favorable trades, and also their smoke seem to be working really well. So there's potential for them to just straight up win if they do this. They could put Emily up on the boost, hit A, right, which is the full-on execute, and that's just spitballing strategies. But there's a lot of things that they could try to make work. They could also play out the time on the round and see what the op can do. If Emily can find a pick or two at either mid or has a spawn for B or something like that, which right now we can actually just check. She's way in the back, so options are a little bit limited, but. Yeah, it's just having the op. It's just you see someone, take a picture and they're dead, right? So the fact that she can do that, not take any damage, means that it's going to be tempting to want to buy.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time you're looking at it though, when they had that boost up at mid, Emily had a perfect shot. I mean, she legged 1, maybe 2, but she at least had contact up to somebody. And when they tried to utilize that op towards that B side, she was a little bit off angle, where we saw her teammate Linsky actually die trying to meet up towards her when that was that deagle round save for Ace. So PL1 hit that shot. So do you think you should try to leverage an aggressive AWP to try to catch them off position when they're still trying to set up on the CT side? I guess not at this point, when we're going to wait for this to resume, because she does have that further spawn out.
Well, at this point you would be trying to find info, right? So it's kind of like, where has someone been crossing white box every round, right? If I know that, then put me up on boost, I'll opt the cross.
Yeah.
Have they been pushing A main? All right, I'm gonna go wait for them to push A main.
Yeah.
Do they push squeaky? Are they gonna get aggressive at B again? Right, there's a lot of options if you have the information from your team, especially if the CTs are playing fairly aggressively for whatever reason. So yeah. If I'm Emily, I'm asking my teammates, what do I do?
Yeah, and at this point, it's still very tough, because from what we've been observing so far, Launders, is that we've had pushes towards B main, we've had pushes towards mid, and we've had pushes towards A main, whether it be Effie, whether it be a 3-man push at B, Effie at A main, or Vez at mid. So they're still keeping Selfless on their toes to see where the aggressive plays are coming, and you're seeing a much more passive, patient play by Selfless on the other hand because of that. And at the same time, look at Sub Rosa. I mean, he's consistently spamming towards that blue door where they're trying to execute towards A. They run into it. I mean, that's when Goose Breeder died a few rounds back as well. So they're playing a pretty good CT side now for Ace.
Yeah, most definitely. And here it is, the posturing towards A. All the terrorists out, and Emily, wow, only doing a little bit of damage to Sabrosa, but he gets killed, so that does make up for it. And now Effie's in a tough spot.
They at least get a
trying
bomb
to pick
plant.
up slack here. Not going to find the headshot on Fork.
There you go. Big flash for Effie to move through. Gets another kill, blinded there onto ML just before. Lined up the crosshair on his target before he gets flashed. And just like that, they're all going to fall like toy soldiers. But at least they get a bomb plant for Selfless.
Yeah. Again, they get a plant. They really shouldn't have. I mean, Emily coming out of Squeaky, I really like that. Like, to lead out with the op and try to find the opening frag. Almost does it too. Like, probably should have gotten that frag on Sabrosa. The instant trade comes out, but then it's always the second man on A to like fail to make up for the fact that their teammate went down.
Yeah.
Right? It's kind of like both people are failing.
Yeah.
But there's more emphasis on the second guy, and they've had opportunities. They're going up against pistols. They're missing their first few shots. They're giving up way too much territory, and then the bomb goes down.
I like this as well. I mean, Linsky went for Tech 9 armor, but full utilities, because she only had $100 when she had to save that gun, that AWP. They get a bomb plant to get bonus money, but she can't afford more than that, so she's going to be more of a support player for this round. Giving a chance now for Goose Breeder to get the first kill onto Effie. Big incendiary grenade coming in from the CT side. Vez pushing in towards Checkerton. He can't connect. ML gets the kill with the AK-47. And now that's a 5 versus 3 to start things off. PL1 is still alive, though, just at the entrance by the tree. They're going to try to reboost and take control of mid. And they might catch 2 off the rotation. No, they went towards CT spawn. There's going to be one coming in towards Z, though. It's going to be Sabrosa getting one kill, PL1 towards B. And then they're going to say, all right, let's move back towards the A side. And Sabrosa will be stuck to play towards the truck. So this is a big smoke.
Oof. Can't land the spray transfer, and is actually the man that had to deal with everybody coming up A, but that mid-control paying off in dividends now. Really nice round played out so far from Selfless.
Yep.
And now they've just got a favorable afterplant to deal with. Smokes are down already, and they've also got one more on Ray Bay, so she can continue to smoke the cross, or she's actually a quad, so just smoke them completely out of the site. Bad Molotov means that she doesn't have to move.
Yeah, this is bad news bears right now for PL1 and Tiz. I mean, the smokes will dissipate, but they have really nothing else to work with besides a single flash that PL1 just picked up. Elise gets that kill, but he's stuck on his own, and it's planted for A main. Goes for the flash defuse,
That was a
but
cute
Gooseberry
flash.
gets a kill. Yeah.
But it's no good. And Selfless win. Really good round, man. They just, oh, wow, just barely avoid dying there. I don't know. One of them might have survived, but that was tight. Now, Ace Gaming, tons of money. Gonna be putting on the equipment. And I think that what we saw there was just pretty textbook from Selfless, but it was layered too. You know, they took mid control, they took checker control, and then counter boosted vent, and then ended up going A. You know, this takes a lot of coordination to pull off a strategy like that. So I thought that was really nice. I mean,
Definitely. I mean, they forced a rotation now, right? At that point, they had 3 guys or 2 guys in B and Sabrosa playing by himself, but forced to play so passively at the truck. So they opened up the A bomb site wide for Selfless to move in and get that plant. So great job. Flash coming through, and Vess is going to spot 2, and he's burning. And he's going to get picked off there. So ML is going to get that first kill. PL1 still inside that site. And he's going to play back here passively, waiting for some cover at the same time. But Selfless is slowly moving in. They finally get that smoke for checkers and also for CT spawn. So PL1's going to have to come up big. He's going to need at least 2 kills now. Gets 1, gets 2. There you go. So he played his part. Now it's back to a 2 versus 2, and he's still alive inside this site.
yeah, not only is he still alive, he hasn't taken a point of damage yet. Now he's got this headshot run up to deal with. They're not going to be going right to him, actually, which is something you might expect, and it's actually 2 players across, and now a 1v2 for Sabrosa to win. Oh, the double P comes out, they both go down for it. What?
No.
No way.
Okay,
They're like, let's just end. Oh my gosh.
they both knew what was going to happen. I mean, they threw that.
They both knew they were both going to get sprayed down by a Falmouth.
Well, no, but I mean,
this is Sabrosa's server. Get the hell out.
Selfless knew from throwing that molly that Sabrosa was going to white peak, right? So they went for a double peak, but Sabrosa at the same time, see that molly coming through, was like, yeah, there's at least going to be 1 peeking on the left side. But he didn't expect both of them to line up there. So
I mean, I love the double peak. I mean, when your opponent
It's
is
what you
out in the
have to do.
open,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I love the double peak. I think the issue was that like one of their heads was basically halfway up the one's body that was behind him.
Yeah.
And so it just allowed him to get extra damage in for free. For
sure.
Quite unfortunate, but you know, really nice spray control.
yeah, that forces
Unreal.
now Selfless back on a save. Effie is just waiting through the smoke.
Oh my God, another failure at A.
It's
Just
the new
huge.
sound. It's the new UMP sound. That's why. Just blame it on that.
Yeah. Oh, good nade. Denies the plant. That's huge. They should just push them together, I think.
Yeah, that bomb is down. Goosebeater's going to pick it up and plant it at least. AK purchased by ML, so that's quite interesting.
AK
oh, no,
no armor?
maybe it was salvaged back by Sabrosa, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Yeah. Well, now they're going to close in now from the CT side. Ace moving up. Effie's going to get that frag, make that a second one just by the forklift. And there you go. That's going to end it. But mission successful, at least for Selfless. It's going to be 9-4, sorry, but at least some money built up there for the female team.
That is super weird. They're just getting into A site every single time off of these executes, and I don't know from Ace Gaming's perspective if it's Selfless approaching it differently each time, but there was no reason that, you know, like Sabrosa, who just won that 1v2, for example, should be failing versus pistols over and over again on the A site.
Yeah.
They got to just start giving it up, in my opinion, because like their holds are just bad. Like
Yeah.
their holds aren't working. So like you have good players who, for some reason, versus whatever it takes that Selfless are doing,
Yep.
is making them completely useless. So they're better off staying alive longer and then coming into a site that's very easy to retake with that in mind before you start.
Here it comes again. Linsky reads him. She's expecting the other 2. Gets the second one. She does. She
Correct.
plays her part. At least that's 2 dead. But this is interesting. They're still running out towards this A bomb site. So now Tiz, PL1, and Sabrosa will have to set back up. Looks like they're going to go back towards checkers. PL1 is waiting towards this sunroom, and it gets retraded one more time. So they still have this 1 woman advantage for Selfless. They don't have a smoke to work with to try to prevent Subroza from looking over that cross. He spots Emily, so now he knows there's at least 2 guys or 2 women that move inside towards this B bomb site. So now that's a touchdown, Nate, a 2 versus 2.
That's big.
Denies the plant at the same time. It has to be repicked up. ML's looking for that plant. She's getting sprayed at the same time. Tiz is going to get the kill. How does this happen now? ML will have to try to clutch a 2 versus 1. Gives away her position from this flash and gets nothing out of it. So this is going to be tough. That's it. It's going to be 10-4 in favor of Ace Gaming.
10-5. Or, yeah, 10-5. Or 10-4, excuse me, you're right.
Yeah, so there's going to be one more round to go right now. And let's see what is going to happen. So, I mean, a nice try. They had a 1-man advantage every single time, but somehow it just came down to those sprays that just kept taking him down.
Oh, look, Subroza spin botting. He caught it live.
Well, last round of the first half right now.
You're obvious, kid. But really good pressure applied. Subroza, like, pushing the player out into the open from that checker box with that wall bang spray, and then, yeah, it was good teamwork.
And that's it. I mean, you had good positioning from Selfless there. The only unlucky part was that they were getting sprayed, and that touchdown nade also onto Emily inside that site. That gave that advantage for Ace Gaming to turn things around. If not, it was Selfless's round pretty much on that 3 versus 2 setup. But nonetheless, now it comes down to this full buy, of course, because this is the last round of the first half. They do have enough money to work with AKs and Tech 9s right now, but nothing more than that. So this is going to be a struggling round here for the T side. And Subroza caught in a reload. Can he manage to hold this? He manages at least to escape and bait out for Effie to get the first kills. That's a second and third. So this first round pretty much might end it here, 11-4, sorry, with Linsky now the last one remaining for Selfless Gaming. The bomb is down also. She's about to get flanked. She does manage to get the first kill there onto Tiz, and she gets a second one onto Effie, and another one pushing towards that locker from that A main. So nice try, but 11-4.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty standard from what we see here for Ace, at least on this first half.
Yeah, it was, very standard. Everything kind of went, I think, as they expected it to.
Yep.
We saw some moments where Selfless had some stuff to build off of, right? The fact that a lot of these ecos at A just were working way too well, right? And then it seemed like on the rifle rounds, they really favored these mid-B splits. We had one round where they had an excellent split up of highway after taking checker control, which was a nice layered strategy, as we pointed out earlier.
Yeah.
And I would have hoped that they would try to do stuff like that again. Instead, I think they were playing off their defaults, and I think we're just following the frags. And a lot of times, Ace were giving them a hard time and getting the opening kill very quickly. So that was a lot better for them, I think. So, and when all is said and done, Selfless have 4 rounds to show for it. So it seemed like they had one more, came closer to. And again, maybe if that second round that was supposed to be converted ended up actually being converted, Selfless would have 6.
Yeah, I mean, when you're looking at it, the positioning, at least for the CTs when Ace played, individual skill was pretty much good enough as well. I mean, when they went for a 3-man push towards that B side where finally Linsky was able to get 2 kills, they were still able to get frags on towards the A side, playing a retake on top of that too when they lost players early in that round. I think it was just good enough for Ace Gaming to get a few rounds back, or at least get those rounds and commit towards it. Because like you said, it should have been more than that, more rounds in favor of Selfless Gaming, but that individual play from Ace Gaming, wherever it comes towards retakes or just holding sites or even their aggressive pushes, made it even, at the end of the day, a wider margin spread for Ace. But nonetheless, looks like we're about to go live here on this second half. It is going to be Ace now on the T side, while we will have Selfless on the CTs. Looking to bring this to a third map right now for this female team. If not, they'll be knocked down to the lower brackets here of the Call of the North qualifier, brought to you by Bell. If not, we will see a third map, which is going to be Cobble as a tiebreaker if it does happen.
Five in the pistol. PL1 to go smoke, flash, flash, and this looks like it's going to be a contact B rush. It seems like they're taking their time here. I'm not sure if they want to deliver any utility into the line of sight of Selfless before they start running, but If they do, they won't have a CT cross smoke.
So it is Raybay, at least, that's going to be playing spot for B. I think at the same time, it is going to be Linsky playing all the way in the back of B as well for the support. So if they actually get pushed in, it's going to be hard right now for Linsky to try to hold out any pushes out there. So Emily has to play up big towards that mid. She will be able to do so against one of the key players of Ace, and gives a 1-woman advantage now for the counter-terrorist team. Nice big counter flash, but they don't actually have the positioning for them to push out. So the only thing they could do is slow them back for a bit and help for the rotation. Raybay, though, gets that first kill onto Sub Rosa, and finally Vez gets the first one on the scoreboard for Ace. They're pushing across towards this smoke, and at the same time, they're pushing down and chasing Emily, and she still stays alive long enough for her teammates to come across and get those kills. Meanwhile, Tiz inside checkers on a 2 versus 1, down to 9 HP. And Selfless are looking good here to win this pistol round.
Wow, nice 3K from Raybay. And was she the rotator or was she actually on site?
She was on site. She
Yeah,
was
the whole
spotting
time,
from B main.
Oh, really nice hold from her. Definitely delivering there. And I think we're going 2-2 in pistol rounds so far for either team, right? Each team winning a pistol round on either map. And that's a good sign, I think, for both people. But the fact that Ace Gaming had a more fruitful half to begin with means that this just allows Selfless to make this map competitive. If it is to come down to Alinsky now with the buy zone over at Sandbag. It's kind of a tough spot to be in. I mean, it's not easy to cross from here. Oh, well, okay, they got the B push that they're trying to work with.
They're doing the same thing that Ace did on that second round first half, but this time it's just going to be a scout waiting towards that back. L1 trying to support, but you have P90 submachine guns right now for Selfless. They managed to get 2, but still a crossfire setup now for Sabrosa. He gets the 1D and gets another one onto Emily. Not a 1D, but at least a kill, and that's good enough.
Wow.
That's a 3 versus 2 Effie with the P250 armor and bomb on his back, waiting towards that squeaky while Tiz is trying to move, towards the A main while Tiz is waiting towards that squeaky. Giving away his position there by opening that door. Raybay is the one that's waiting towards that quad. She will catch him. Easy headshot, and Linsky with the Bison coming across on the other side of A will make it 11-6. Selfless winning pistol and the second round.
Yeah, a couple of good kills, good damage. Ultimately, Selfless had some stuff to get rid of, which is fine. You know, they can upgrade into from their SMGs now, though it will be another full save now for Ace, and because they recognize the armor by the scout, for example, on Vez, that they could actually think about buying SMGs once again, pushing with those SMGs and trying to funnel all the kills into those guns. But if they don't, it's fine, and they also may not lose anybody this round, so you don't want to have to spend money unnecessarily, right?
Yeah.
But a couple of nice 1Ds from Sabrosa would have made DJ Khaled proud. Another one.
Well, at least they are playing very passively like they did the previous round, but this time looks like they're going to fully commit inside B. They're going to catch one with a molly in her hand. Raybay holding inside that site, manages to take down the bomb carrier as she spotted opponents trying to push down towards tree. Good thing Emily was there on her rotation, and audibles being called. She lines up 2, but PL1 finally stops the killing spree.
Wow. Wow, they actually, I mean, her playing on the site was so important, and I mean, didn't show herself at all because she was at oranges, and that's a really tough spot because that's an angle that you don't have two sides to play off of, meaning that if you give up your spot, they can just kind of cut you off, and the only thing you can do is peek right into them. There's no way to surprise somebody from that spot, so you really want to be unknown as long as possible, and she did a great job there getting those 3 kills, staying alive, and just going full incognito.
All right, that spray is not going to hurt anyone here, but a valiant attempt as Linsky was trying to move her way up towards that mid side. She will be able to do so. So you'll have an aggressive push there towards that vent, and it's going to be a double play pretty much on that hold inside checkers. Vez is going to get spotted here. They're going to break that vent at the same time, and Linsky spots him walking inside that smoke. So it did come into fruition towards the end there with that aggressive push towards mid. The rest of them now trying to work towards this A side. Spam through the door. It's going to be Sabrosa putting down Goose Breeder to 9 HP.
Good flash. Delays a little bit. Oh, one spotted crossing the quad and then leaves. I mean, good for that because that's so easy to nade. Quite common to do as well. Quad re-smoked, and Emily, wow, over the top of the smoke.
Okay.
I think recognizes that Sabrosa was about to come out and just takes a shot. Why not?
Yeah, you see the smoke bloom, count up to 3.
Oh, that's a little bit obvious. The when you have, I don't even know if they have any stock in this round anymore. Tiz is still alive, he has an op, but they've made no progress. They've conceded all map control, and don't have a fallback strategy right now. The bomb is making its way out of Squeaky. I think maybe it wasn't the most favorable spot to be in. And I guess Tiz is actually just going to make this. I don't know if they're going to go back to A or if he's just going to make noise.
He's just pinned right now, and at this point, I think he's far enough for them not to hear the scope. Here he's peeking out, and there you go, he's dead. So they were waiting for PL1 to just walk back from that Squeaky towards that A main and work
He should
together.
just be saving. He should just definitely save that. Yeah. There's no way he's going to win. Everybody was staged up at A. They just killed one person there. I mean, maybe he thought it'd be difficult to save, but it would have been nice to have an AK into this round, and they ended up losing that one without even getting a kill to show for it. So very good economy building, morale building round for Selfless to come away with.
Looks like it's going to be, okay, I thought it was going to be a solo. Okay, they're miscommunicating a little bit there. I mean, if they went for a full-out rush B, the girls would have been caught off guard because they had one heading towards B, run back towards Z, and then another one doing the same thing. Now they decide to go double B there. So they're playing a 2-1-2. I thought they were just going to play a solo B to start, and just a passive op play by Emily, but at this point, it is going to be just a pistol buy. Small armor for Ace, trying to move inside to get the bomb plant. Molly to force him out of position, towards the back of quad and towards the back of the site. And even Tiz is running through ML's incendiary grenade. But here comes some nice Tech 9 from Epi, but cannot connect right after, but at least Subrosa is there. Off shot missed, she's still alive here. It's gonna be ML at the quad. And they're just playing a ring around Rosie. And at the end of the day, it's a 2 versus 2. Bomb is lucky to get planted. They spot one up on highway. And that opponent spots both of them. That's Vez, who manages to get the kill still with the Tech 9, and finally, okay, it was a dirty round, but at the end of the day, it's going to be Ray Bay that's going to clean it up, and it is going to be 11-9 with a bomb plan for Ace Gaming.
Wow, they went hyper aggressive there in that 2v2. I feel like Vez could have let them get closer to the crossfire. I mean, the issue was that his teammate on site didn't have a great angle to work with either, but
even post plant, right? So
yeah, maybe it's because he didn't know where the second person was, and if he knew they were both coming from truck, he probably wouldn't have peeked that wide. But like, say for example, you think someone's coming highway, then you'd rather just take the fight at truck, push truck, and then be safe and play time. So it was probably just a play based off a read. Didn't work out, but Ace Gaming did a ton of damage there, so it makes up for the previous rifle round where they got sweeped.
Ton of damage, bomb plant, full gun round this time here. And they could be in a spot where they might put Selfless back on a save if they win this one. So crucial round now for both teams. Ray Bay playing close towards this
back.
small. I'm sorry?
Back.
And Vez is going to play by himself here towards this toxic area, the sunroom. We are going to try to take control of mid by putting Tiz up there on the boxes. Very passive play from the back of blue door, and they are actually all converging back towards this mid. So I'm wondering if they're going to try to go for a mid to A split. Linsky the first one to fall. ML on a wide peak, spots the first one here. Gonna try to force him out of position again by throwing that incendiary grenade towards that playground.
Wow, it looks like they got all the fights they wanted to at mid, but they couldn't win the duels, and Emily picking late at Z to help her teammate ended up working out really well. Even after Linsky went down originally, and now it's a 4v3. Great position to be in for Selfless. Checker control is now conceded, and a CD smoke could blow out Emily from being able to help her teammate. That would put a lot of pressure on Ray Bay, who has been doing a great job.
Oh, shot missed by Emily, and her position's given away as well. She had to land one of those shots to give a chance right now for her teammates who are all the way inside A to rotate a little bit faster. But now at this point, she is forced out from more incendiary grenades. Moving towards that vent, PL1 is holding it in, trying to go for the trade, but to no avail for Goose Breeder there. So we're looking at pretty much a 12-9 scoreline. Emily trying to save this AWP on the top of the cat.
Wow, excellent vent holds. Really well played. And it's Ace to take. Now what's going to be a little bit of a stronger lead, much better. If Selfless had won this round, for example, Ace would most likely be on a save. They'd be running out of options. They wouldn't know what site is weaker, and would kind of have to work back from very little data, right? I mean,
yeah, for sure.
So it's a much better position to be in. Selfless, though, on the other hand, have won a couple of these rifle rounds. They've done it in style as well, and so I think would have a little bit more confidence going into their next buy, even though the the scoreline starts to get a little bit worse. Again, this was an 11-4 half, right?
Yeah, I mean,
So-
they won 5 rounds in a row and then lost the first one here for Selfless. And even though they won 5 in a row and lost that round, it's a single round that almost breaks their economy at this point.
Yeah, it's Ace Gaming bought down to 0, right? They can, they're actually 1 away from having to be reset here. So great opportunity now for Selfless to actually equalize off this round. This one could be worth 3.
And this could put them even at tie point for Ace. So crucial round, even more than the one previously. And ML, it's a pretty bad smoke, but luckily for her,
That's when you got to put your forehead on the monitor to see that.
yeah, it was just maybe luckily for Ace actually that whoever crossed over crossed a little bit further back, so that the feet weren't spotted there at the bottom of that smoke.
Good way to dodge. Oh,
Yeah, it was just an easy boost, never blinded there. So easy first kill from ML, but Sub Rosa came out from that squeaky.
Wow.
And it's just 2 lines
Wow.
up after lineup. Unfortunate there.
what just happened? Okay, ML gets that first opening kill,
Yeah.
traded immediately by Sabrosa. Great job by him, obviously. Coming and killing the quad player, and then 2 unanswered trades on the push that was being watched by PL1. So-
Vez the lurker roll.
Oh, that was Vez.
Yeah. Well, Vez the lurker roll towards that mid got that lineup on two
was
girls
Vez.
trying to push across on that rotate.
Gotcha.
But I think while they had that boost, because of that boost inside that site, you don't have enough coverage from highway or from quad to look out towards Squeaky, right? So Sabrosa just came out and caught them both off guard right after.
Yeah, there's that triple boost on overpass on B site where you're using 3 people to do the boost. So as soon as they see you, it's like, okay, not only do they see you, they also know where 3 of your players are. So it makes the rest of the map that much weaker. And maybe a big reason why Ace were able to be so fruitful in the first place. And these 2 off, wow. Sabrosa
With
switching to the
4.
Tech 9 and hitting that first bullet.
4 HP remaining to get that kill too. Now, I mean, it's pretty much just them trying to peek out and try to get a few kills, but it was such a nice try. I mean, there's nothing more you could ask there for Selfless as it went for full out save. No armor, nothing.
Yeah, any kills are a nice consolation, but yeah, no, not getting any. And that's it. The wall that is Ace Gaming stands strong, and they've got basically 2 from taking this 2-0. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, it's been an exciting couple of maps, honestly, but it's also almost coming to a close here. Pretty much a last hurrah by Selfless, who have another full buyout. They won't have the op, which I'm sure they wanted to, and Effie for some reason with a UMP, always using funny guns. This man.
And you're looking at Selfless, I mean, let's look at the economy at least for Selfless this round. They lose this round here, they have no money to work with for the last round. This counter boost, spotted but off shot missed. PL1 getting the kill, at least at Squeaky. So that's an early 4 versus 4. Who's Breeder getting that 1 on 2? Effie at A main, okay. Who's looking at what? We don't know. But say they lose this round here, they have no money to work with for the last round. They win this one.
Oh, this is a huge lurk.
And they
Oh, he
lose it,
sees
they
the
get
gun.
reset again. Yeah, it's
Oh, and the vent player, who's not actually going to go down. Wow, wildly spraying and trying to commit very hard to that. Doesn't pay off. Oh, but the vent trade happens, and it just kills everybody getting shot on the side because nobody knows where anybody is. So many lurks happening, so many soft lurks happening in this round.
exactly. This whole round has been a huge question mark for a lot of the players of how they got killed because they never really went in contact face to face. So now they're forced to play a 1-1 split on the D for Goose Breeder and Rebe. And it looks like Sabrosa and PL1 will move up there. And interesting enough, it's Sabrosa that's offing right now instead of seeing Tiz, unless you're going for double op on T side. But at least one of the key players now, Sabrosa taking down PL1 on his lonesome on his 2v1.
Really good kill from Goose Breeder, so it's going to be an important thing to note after this round is over, though it's not quite over. And PL1, doesn't actually walk out the right side of the smoke. I thought would have maybe gotten caught by Goose Breeder, but realizes that she's on site, so what's going to happen right now? 10 seconds remain. I think he's aware. Oh no. Wow. Almost gets caught off guard. If he hadn't decided to play.
She
Gets
does it
swatted
back.
on, jeez.
She does it back.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what I'm talking about, right? They went for a full buy. They still won the round, but they had to keep some ladies alive. They have such a low buy coming on here.
Yeah.
They lose this round here, they get their money reset. So no matter what, Ace Gaming pretty much has the advantage for the rest of this game. unless Selfless Gaming is able to pull up a miracle in the next 2 following rounds to reset the
3
money
pushing
back.
B here versus 4 players and not winning any of
There
those
you go.
duels at all. Wow. Not doing it quite as well as Ace had done in a previous round, and that could possibly be game. They're in a position like they were on Nuke, where I think they actually, off of a low buy, managed to do some work. I don't know if they could do that again, though.
Yeah. But that's it, right? Bomb planted, and at this point, you just want to try to save the last 2 guns, so you'll save a FAMAS. You'll save an AK-47, but then you won one, you lost one, so you really don't have any economy to go for anything else right now for Selfless. I don't think Linsky and Goosebreeder have enough money to drop in the next round.
Bit of osmosis here as the dots are being attracted to the other ones.
Yeah, they're both at 0 right now, Launders, so going into the next round here, they'll only have $1,400. They can't drop anything, okay. Maybe they'll salvage an AK here?
The rough part is that now that just gives them info. They know they're probably both in squeaky. Damage is dealt, 1 kill is had, and that's so much. They don't even care who dies on their team. They just need to get these frags, and they do it, yeah. So no save happens. And the sad part about that is, right, if you save 2 people and they both died, they might as well have gone for the retake, as unlikely as it would be.
Yeah, and now $1,200 for a few of them, $1,500 for others. You're gonna go on a pistol buy.
Some good banter there. Linsky was explaining how he could see the person through the door.
And it's because of Tiz's fat arm.
Fat arm, yeah.
Yeah, so at this point, they're playing it for pretty much a boost. You could see it from that mini-map on the top of Shroud Box. But there's really, it's just desperation right now for Selfless. I mean, no utilities, with the exception of 1 flash for Ray-Bay, Linsky, and Nemel respectively, and only 1 kit to work with. And at this point, you can't really play for any retakes because you only have pistols to work with, so you're not going to go for any type of stacks. Bloodspot there on that wall at that fence before forcing right now ML from her position at quad. She gets taken down. And that's Goosebreeder and Linsky as well at mid.
Okay.
At this point, this is pretty much it. Ray-Bay is going to be the last one standing. 4 versus 1.
Clip of the week right here with the Deagle.
First one spotted. She gives away her position. 1 at Z. Misses all of her shots, and that's it. Tiz getting the last kill. 16-10 for the second map in favor of Ace Gaming.
Wow. Puttering to a little bit of a halt right there. Only managing to come away with 10 rounds in total after having an 11-4 half to come back from, putting all those rounds together, and then only winning 1 out of the last 6.
Yeah.
Right? So huge comeback in the hands. Comeback from Ace.
Back and forth pretty much,
Yeah,
right?
it was very back and forth. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about it a little bit more here, Launders, but I think we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll analyze this map and present the next matchup here. So stay tuned, guys, here for the Kelowna North, brought to you by Bell.